Okay, so here we are, episode 7, Cooking with the Doctor. James Bosen here, your host. So what we're doing here tonight is something a bit ambitious. The 7th and final ingredient challenge from my friend Thomas. He stated beef. He stated cube steaks, so beef cube steaks. So I looked it up online. It's one of those ones where I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. Looked it up. And so I'm deciding to do chicken fried steak. Okay, so what I have going on right now is on low right here. I have the steak going. Okay, so with this, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and we need to get the batter and all that going for the steak. So over here in the, we can somewhat see, yeah, okay. So wait, okay, I don't want this to, okay, so what we have going on, okay, it's holding on for right now. In this pan, I'm going to put the dry stuff, which is going to be my flour and the spices, the dry spices, that is. So with this, because I only have 1/2 pound steak, I'm going to go a little more than 1/4 cup of flour. Okay, just a little bit more than that. Just that way I'm not, worried about having too little at the time. And what we're going to add to this one is we're going to be adding salt, and black pepper. Sure to definitely be adding black pepper to that. Okay, so with that, I'm going to grab a fork here, and I'm going to be stirring this up. Okay, and I'll be moving that over here. Okay, still not on any sort of heat, so that'll be fine. Next thing I need to do is I need to make my the rest of my batter. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to take one large egg. Okay, maybe this is probably, man, that's a dumb idea, trying to crack an egg over plastic. Screw it, let's just crack it over this. I'm cracking it over a porcelain bowl there. Okay, get that egg in there. Remove the egg. Wash my hands a little bit. Get the bowl out of here. Get the bowl washed a little bit. Okay, and then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding a bit of milk. As far as the ratio of milk to egg, okay, especially considering this is some fat-free milk, some skim milk I'm using. I prefer roughly 1-to-1, maybe a little more on the milk side, but not too much more on the milk side. Because at that point, your fat content, which is going to help hold things together, is going to go down. Okay, so I mix it up, and what I'm going to be mixing in with here is just a little bit of garlic, not too much, just a little bit, and some Louisiana hot sauce, just for a little kick. A few dashes there. You want to make sure you're adding the garlic, unless it's garlic powder. If you're using garlic powder or garlic salt, then you can add it to the dry rub. But right here, this is kind of going to be the wet rub that we're going to be using. Okay, so we're letting the oil heat up a little bit. And one of the techniques I'm going to be doing here, okay, because it's going to be tricky dealing with both the country fried steak and the gravy being one person, one of the things I'm going to be prepping here is the oven. Okay, so I will be prepping the oven here to, well, once the steak gets going, okay, once the steak starts to get cooking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the oven to 200 degrees just to hold the steak as I'm making the gravy. Because you don't want to cook the steak too much more once you're done frying it. Okay, once you're done frying it, it should be for the most part done. You just want to kind of hold the temperature. So you're going to want to set your oven to 200 once the steak's done, and I'll remind you guys once we get there. Okay, so at this point, I am going to move the flour out of the way. Okay, hopefully the cats don't try to attack the flour. They like to attack pretty much anything in a paper or plastic bag. Anything in a bag's fair game for them. Okay, so at this point I'm going to turn the oil up a bit, and I'm going to turn your attention back to the oil. Okay, so real quickly, when dealing with oil, knowing when it's ready. Oh, sorry, one other thing to add. I almost forgot. Shit. I'm going to put in roughly a teaspoon's worth of baking powder into the mix here. Okay, just to give it a little, hey, dude, no, sorry, 1 second here, dealing with cat difficulties, feline technical difficulties, dude. Come on, I know you're interested, Nope. See, the cat's all interested in what I have cooking on here, but, you know, obviously we can't have cats up in the kitchen like that. That's no good. So yes, you want to mix that up in there as well. You know, almost forgot about that. That's important because the baking powder is really important in this sort of situation because it really helps give lift to the coating, to the batter that you're using. Okay, so as far as knowing when your frying oil is ready, one of the key things is you don't want to quite wait for it to start bubbling over. At that point, you're maybe getting a little too hot. But what you want to do is you want to let it cook up, and then give it a minute, or maybe give it a few minutes, to be honest, on something a little more than medium. And then what you're going to do is, once you get ready, you're going to splash some water on it. Okay? And if it starts bubbling and fizzing, like basically the bad reaction between water and oil that you hear about, once you start seeing that, hearing that, you're good to go. Otherwise, let me see here, come on, get a move on. Okay, and let me get the egg back. Fridge. And yeah, I'll admit, like country fried or chicken fried steak, either, well, there is a difference, okay? Country fried steak's gonna have that brown, more beef gravy, whereas chicken fried steak, that's typically gonna have that white gravy that you might associate with biscuits and gravy, just without the sausage in the gravy. So, sorry, just getting some more whatever ingredients I can get back into the fridge. No, cooking better. So we're letting it heat up. And let me give a quick preliminary test. Just a little fling of water. Ooh, okay. We are in business. I like the sounds of that. Okay, so we're going to take a no mercy approach here. So here I'm going to take, so here's what you're going to do. Okay, so 1 second here. Let me actually get my right hand clean. Well, both hands, but then I'm going to dirty the left hand immediately. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stick and I'm going to move it over into the powder here. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to do powder first. Okay. So the flour and everything first. And you're going to want to maybe even just grab some of that powder and just kind of pound it on the steak. Okay, so you do that first. Oh, this way you know, it's roughly a 1/4 cup of flour that I have going on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, yeah, this isn't hot. This will be fine. Then I'm going to go ahead and dip it in here, get it all wet, battered up. let it get up in there real good. Okay, make sure it's nice and coated. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to get the dry batter up on there again. Like I said, you're going to probably want to work your hands as far as working the batter up all around it. Because you want to get that second coat of the flour-based batter up on there. Working that in. And yes, your hands are going to get gunky in this recipe, but oh, trust me, I damn near guarantee that this is going to be a really good meal. Okay, sorry, this is working it a little bit more. Okay. So at this point, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that it's pretty thoroughly coated, as coated as I can realistically hope, all things considered. So almost there. Okay, so at this point, I am going to move it into the pan. Got a little bit of grease pop there. Okay, so first off, I'm going to wash my hand, get all of that batter off of it. And then at this point, I'm going to turn the oven on to 200. A bunch of ovens, the default setting, especially if you have an electronic oven like mine, is going to be 350, so you need to actually turn it down to 200 technically. All right. So as that's frying up, okay, I'm going to go ahead, do some stuff around the kitchen, like clean up some stuff, and I'll be right back in like a minute.
Soon after.
So we are back and we are frying. And so, it has only been a few minutes. So really, it took me about 2 minutes to get ready to flip this guy over. First time through. And then I'm probably going to flip them a total of 3 times. So first side, second side, first side, second side. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me over. I need to put the vents on just because of us frying like this. Okay, so with that, okay, so we're letting it cook a bit here, letting this fry up a bit. Let me check down here. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to hear the beep from me hitting 200 right there, and it's almost perfect timing. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this frying pan off, give it about another 10 seconds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it to this pan, because I'm not entirely sure how oven safe this pan is, and I'm not going to attempt it because I love this pan. I don't want to ruin it, even on a delicious dish like this. Oh yeah, no, that's good. I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven just simply as we wait. So we'll pull that out once we're done with the gravy. So now we're going to turn our attention to the gravy side of things. So, gravy side of things. This is going to be a bit interesting here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit maybe like a half a tablespoon of butter here in this pan. And then I'm going to have this pan on medium right now. Okay, I'm going to turn it on medium. So we're going to have about half a tablespoon right there. Butter. And what I'm actually going to do is add just a little bit of this grease. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a good way to do that here without spilling grease all over the place. So be careful. Okay, this is hot grease. This is not to be trifled with. And the thing is, it's good if you get some of those fried bits up in here. So get a bit going, not too much, but definitely get a nice little coating right there. And worst case, you can add more if you need more. So the other things I'm going to add here to this gravy mix, to this white gravy mix. First off, I'm going to start off adding right around a 1/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. Let me get my mixing spoon here. Yeah, we can use this one. Okay. Get it mixed in. And what else you're going to want to get in here is a bit of milk. Now this, okay, it's a lot easier to deal with not enough milk and you add on later. So be cautious, okay? Be cautious with the amount of milk you add. Okay, so I may have added a little too much, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how well it cooks down here. But here is definitely where you pour on the pepper. Okay, to give that distinctive white gravy texture and look. Okay. Maybe turn it a little beyond the high gravy point. And I can turn that off. I can turn that annoying fan off. And the thing is, you need to make sure that you're mixing in, that you're definitely mixing in the flour in well. Because otherwise, your gravy is going to seem way thinner than it is. Like right here, now that I'm actually working the gravy in. Admittedly, this pan really can't take metal whisks. But if your pan can, whatever pan you're using, definitely metal whisk this. Because yeah, now actually working this all through, I might in a moment here actually add a little bit more milk, just a little bit more. And this is the point where there's going to be no precise measurements just because it's really to taste. It's how thick do you want the gravy. I like my gravy like medium. Like I don't want it super runny, but I don't want it, you know, complete like solid going into it, so. Okay, you're going to turn it down a little bit. I'm now going to turn it down to medium, low, and add just a little bit more milk. So really, of last night's the black beans and rice challenge ingredient had quite a bit of butter. This one is going to have quite a bit of milk going on. And obviously, the higher the fat content of the milk, the less it's going to cut things down. So, in other words, you're going to need a lot more of like a whole milk than you would of, let's say, something like this, which is the skim milk. And this, I'm just going to add a little more pepper. All right, so with this, we are about ready for the main event. Oh, geez, yes. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Sorry, just getting some things ready. Okay. Oh, sorry, there's a cat toy over there. You're probably going to hear a cat running around with a cat toy. That's just the dude, don't mind him. I wish he abided, but he doesn't abide. Okay. Oh, so here we go. Yeah, these are a bit hot, these tongs. And let me actually turn that gravy off. So gravy's off. I'm transferring the steak to the plate. Now I'm going to add the gravy here. Oh yeah, you see it. The gravy just slide on. This freaking push it all around. Push it all around. Oh yeah. I'm going to quickly put the milk away as we have a little bit of time. And actually, the thing is, you probably want to let this cool down for like a minute. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you guys can't quite see. Oh yeah, you can see a little bit. It's steaming. So I'm going to do some dishes. Not that one, because that one was just on. Okay, so let me put flour away. And yeah, no, that's the thing, is don't be afraid to do dishes, put stuff away, get stuff ready as you're letting a dish cool, okay? That's, you know, I know I probably said that multiple times already, but it's really important. The other thing, what I'm doing right now, I made sure that this oil was cooled down before I decided to go ahead and, okay, you really probably shouldn't be putting it in the sink, but like a little bit of cool down oil is going to be just fine. Okay, the thing is, hot oil is going to wreak havoc on plastic pipes. And it's also this disaster waiting to happen if you end up, you know, trying to flush it down with some water. You know, hot oil and water, they go along really well, right? They're known for going along really well. Okay, so, approaching the moment of truth here. Let me go ahead, grabbing a fork, grabbing a knife. Whew, okay, I am super stoked for this. Cutting in. Oh, and you see right here, the steak, probably cooked medium, maybe slightly on the medium rare side. Oh. One thing we're going to do is add a little bit more salt. So let me do that. Add just a little bit more salt. And let's get a second bite, just, you know, second opinion here going on. Yeah. That's amazing. That is really, really, really good. Okay, yeah, that. If I had to grade it, I'd grade this one an A-. As far as ambition, considering my cooking and what I've done in the past, I haven't done, okay, I've done fried chicken before, particularly fried like chicken strips and fried chicken tenderloins, and I've done fried pork tenderloins, yeah, all that stuff before. This, though, this was definitely ambitious. And I am really, really happy with how this turned out. Okay, so, yeah. With that, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this in my privacy. Otherwise, expecting the next few days to come up with another episode. This one will be round 2 of the ingredient challenge, in which I go ahead and I let my friends and family compose a list. But the goal here is to try to knock out the list in as few of meals as possible. Okay, so I'll be maybe having a video updating you guys on the list, and then I'll go ahead and I'll work on that. Okay. So with that, you guys take it easy.